Hey, it's Andrew. So it's Sunday afternoon. I was just about to make myself some coffee, and I want to do a video of the process I use to make coffee when I have time, either in the weekends or in the evening. And the method I use is the pour-over method. It's relatively simple. It does take some time compared to like just throwing in a brewer, like a drip brewer or anything like that. But I really like the process that I have down. And I wanted to show you because it's something relatively simple that you can pick up on a regular basis. And for those of you that like coffee and enjoy it, this might step up the quality of coffee you can get from home without too much difficulty. So first, obviously coffee beans. So these are, you can use anything, but basically this is coffee beans from Edgar Joe Company. It's down in Farmingdale, New Jersey. It's a really good company that roasts the beans and then sends you it in this packaging. They actually say the date of when it was actually roasted on it. I've had two separate types of coffee from them. This is the Gold Bug Roast. It's like a medium to light roast. I personally don't like light roast as much as dark roast, but this is really, really good coffee for kind of the price and what they send you. The other one I've gotten is the Raven Roast. I really like that. That's a darker roast, so if you like that, definitely look into them and see if you want to buy your coffee from them. I'll put the link below as far as where you can get it from. So obviously coffee. For the pour over, you need a coffee filter. I just use basic like non-bleached coffee filters, this funnel type. You can get them anywhere, Walmart, Target, Amazon. There's probably like 400 of them for like $5. Coffee scoop, there's a wide variety of these. This is basically the one that came with the pour over setup I have. Basically your goal is to essentially get 70 grams of coffee ground per 8 ounces of coffee. Some people use scales for that. I've learned that the way I do it, it's pretty consistent and I don't really need a scale. Probably if I was going to do pour over coffee with a scale, that'd be like the next step of what I'd add to this, but it does make it a longer process to a certain extent. But the science behind it shows that if you're consistent with the way you do this, you get a much better brew. I've got this basic like coffee Expresso Brush. It just is very useful with the hand grinder that I use to get everything out and clean it up. I got this on Amazon a while ago. And then the other things are kind of what you need as far as setup. So this is a kettle. This is a gooseneck kettle. It's the Brewista. It's very nice. It's fancy. It's gold with this like brown wood pattern. For any pour over method, you really do need this gooseneck method or design because it allows you control and ergonomics as far as getting a good pour. You can use kettles, but what's going to happen is the water is going to fall out unevenly and it's just going to splash all over the place. So you want this controlled neck. So this is a great kettle if you want to look into it. It works really well. I think it's 600 milliliters as far as overall amount, but that's that. And then obviously you need a device to pour the coffee in. There's very expensive models like the Chemex. This is basically a cheaper knockoff, would you say, Chemex. It's the Bodum pour over coffee setup. This is basically what it comes with. It comes with this kind of plunger / cap to go on the top, which essentially allows you to pour it a little bit more evenly, and then it also, what I find is keeps the heat in a little bit better. So there's that. There's this screen, that's kind of this metal screen that comes on the top. What I do is I put the filter on top of this. Okay, you could try this without the screen or without the filter, but I highly don't recommend it. So I do kind of that setup, and then it also has the base, which is basically this cork handle with leather strap, and then the bottom part of it. So this is what I use as far as the pour over setup. So that's that. And then lastly, this is what I absolutely love about doing this is my coffee grinder. So this is the Zassenhaus Santiago hand coffee grinder. This thing's amazing. I've had about 3 years and I absolutely love it. Some people are going to not like this approach because it doesn't use electric or like a motor or anything like that. You do have to hand grind it, but I really appreciate the process of this and the fact that you can customize the grind while you're using it, and you actually can feel the grind like as you're grinding it, you can see how coarse or fine it is. But this thing I absolutely love. I think it's about $125. It's on Amazon. This company's been around for about 50 years. They make great coffee grinders. Essentially, I'll just kind of show you. It's got the Zassenhaus label on the front. This is the mahogany version. It's basically a solid block of wood. So this is all solid, all right? The bottom solid, there's nothing kind of open on that aspect. And then in the front, you've got this drawer. Sorry, there's coffee in it from when I last used it. But this coffee, this drawer comes out. It's pretty solid too. And then essentially there's this mechanism below. I don't know if you can see it. The coffee grinds from there, and then it goes straight into this drawer. So that's that, and then on the top is the grinding mechanism. Essentially, it's this grinder that goes around clockwise, and then there's this drawer or lid here that you pour the coffee into. Once you open it up, it kind of goes down into this bottom part where it grinds. It's a very simple but elegant design, and I find it amazing for what it is. The mechanism as far as kind of making it more coarse or fine is right here. Basically, you just turn it lower to make it more coarse, so this part isn't as flush or held together. And then when you turn it up higher, it raises it up and tightens basically this portion down here, so it grinds more finely. What I find is when you're at the bottom, it grinds very quickly, versus at the top when it's very fine, it'll take a little bit longer. But I do appreciate the process. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll do a finer grind and then mix it with like a medium grind when I'm doing the pour over. But I like it a lot. Additionally, about this grinder, I think it's got a 22-year warranty on the grinding mechanism. So I don't think this could ever really break and have any issues. If this were to break and the company replaces it, there's nothing else on here that'll break unless you lost the drawer or somehow burnt this thing, or I don't know. It'd be crazy to not, I don't know, whatever. But that's everything you need for making coffee, so we'll go through the process now. Okay, so first what you want to do is take the kettle, obviously. I use filtered water, and then essentially what I've learned is if you pour it, I'll show you, you pour it all the way up to about that level. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but about that much in this kettle. It'll give you about 5 cups, okay? So that then I know that roughly 5 to 6 scoops worth of coffee will kind of brew this much water. So we'll throw the lid on and then get it boiling. All right, so while the water is boiling, then I grab the coffee grinder, coffee, and the scoop, obviously. And then I basically filled up this coffee grinder to the top with beans. So I'll fill it up, grind this, and then I'll actually do 2 additional scoops. That's the kind of the amount I found to work with my personal preference. And then, sorry, sometimes it falls. You kind of just pack it in there and then just fill it up to the top. Alright, so we're kind of packed up. And then you just lower the lid, and then let me make sure this is at the right grind. So I go all the way to the top and I do about 2 turns down. Alright, and then you just grind this. And it's a pretty straightforward mechanism. It does take some time though. Okay, so now it's empty. You make sure the beans are kind of all the way through. I'm just going to show you kind of what it looks like at this point. So that's the grind, okay? I might do a separate video on the actual grinder because I love it so much. And then for me personally, I do an additional 2 scoops on top of that, just because I find that that is just the right amount for my personal taste. All right. And so we'll grind this all the way. Okay, so that's all ground now, so we'll keep that there. All right. Next, the water's almost boiled, but we'll kind of set up the pour over. I'll make sure it's kind of in front of here so you can see it. You just basically pull it out, and then we throw the filter in here. And then what I'll do is essentially wet this with some of the hot water from the kettle first, and then I'll dump it, and then we'll put the coffee into it. So the water is just about to boil, all right? So I'm going to turn off the heat, take it off of the actual burner itself. And then what I've learned that in the past, I actually took a thermometer and threw it in here. And what your goal temperature is 207 degrees. And so I've learned that with this kettle, after it boils, you put a timer on for about 2 minutes and it pretty consistently ends up at 207 degrees. Now that it's been 2 minutes, first what you're going to do is just wet the actual filter. Kind of like soak it with the hot water, okay? And that'll essentially just eliminate any kind of extra taste in the filter that might end up in the coffee. Take the coffee that you just ground, dump it into here, okay? So that's what it looks like, kind of get it even. And then what I use is this is why I have this little brush, is basically brush this out so that you got it all out. And then with this coffee grinder, you just got to shake it a little bit, and sometimes stuff's stuck on the top, and you can pour out the rest that way. Now you get to pouring. First, what you want to do, make sure this is even, is essentially just pour to get all the grind or the coffee wet. And this is basically going to kind of bloom the coffee so that you can start getting flavor out of it before it starts extracting. So kind of once it's all wet, you just let this sit for 30 seconds. And what you'll notice is kind of it'll bubble and the CO2 will start coming out of it. It's been about 30 seconds. Now what you're going to do is make small circular motions. I basically start clockwise and then go outwards. And kind of, you don't want to touch the edge really, but just get out towards the edge. And this is exactly what you want it to look like. And then kind of once you get to the edge, I go counterclockwise and kind of go back towards the middle. Some people kind of fill this all the way up, other people don't. What I find is I do this method roughly twice with the amount of water, and it ends up being a pretty good brew. So you'll do that, and then I let it run entirely through. Okay, and then what I find also is, as you see the beans or the coffee's getting stuck on the side, what I find is about here, now I start pouring a little bit on the side just to get this back down. So I'll just pour kind of along here and just get it back down. And then what I'll do is kind of go counterclockwise, all right, with the rest of the water. All right, and then we'll go clockwise. Alright. And that's about all the water, yeah. So, and then you just let this run through and you're pretty much done. So, I'll kind of videotape this, but it's not really that complicated at this point. And then I'll just show you kind of what it looks like at the bottom. Here. So this is kind of what it looks like as it's dripping down. I'm not going to touch it just because it'll disturb it a little bit. And then that's kind of the rest of the process. But now it's just time, to be honest. But I really like this process just because it's consistent. Like the way you do it this way, you'll have a consistent cup every single time. And then you can just vary the beans, and then you can adjust the grind, but I find that this level of fineness is really good for extracting good quality coffee out of this. Okay, and it's about done. So that's about how much coffee it makes. Okay. Next step is obviously just take this. It'll drip and stuff, but I usually throw it into like a compost pile. You take this plunger, obviously, or lid, go like that, and then pour it into a cup. I use the Yeti mug at home. I absolutely love these mugs. They keep this thing warm for a very long time. You'll come back like an hour and a half later and it'll still be warm. And so pour that much into it and then you just enjoy. So I hope that video helped. That's the method I do every single time. I've got it down pretty consistent, like where I get good quality coffee on a regular basis. I'm always open to feedback and suggestions, and if you have any questions, comment below, and I'll try to put a link to everything that I have here in the description below, so if you're interested in purchasing it or looking into it more, you're able to do that. Please subscribe, and please continue to watch my videos. I appreciate it a lot.